Stay locked in a sealed room with your partner for 50 days, no internet, no entertainment, and you walk away with $5 million. Would you take that challenge? The room has nothing but a double bed and a bathroom. Zero entertainment of any kind. Food is provided by the organizers, but it's all bland, tasteless nutrition packs. And here is the brutal part. If one person cracks and quits, even if the other one sticks it out to the very end, they only walk away with $1 million. Most people hear that and think, that's it? Easy money? And this couple was no different. They didn't even hesitate before hitting the start button. The 50-day countdown officially began, but the second they pressed it, the girlfriend turned to her boyfriend and asked, "No phone, no television. How the hell are we gonna survive 50 days in here?" The boyfriend thought it was a dumb question. Just daydreaming about how to spend $5 million could keep him busy for 50 days. The girlfriend's eyes lit up the moment she heard that. She hopped right into bed and joined him fantasizing about their rich new life. But reality hit way harder than they expected. Just 2 days in, the boyfriend was already losing it. The walls were white. The floor was white. Everywhere you looked, nothing but the same dull blankness. It was suffocating. Time felt like it had been put on slow motion. The boredom was driving them insane, so they started playing silly little games. But even then, every single second still felt like an eternity. They barely made it to day 20, and by then they were on the verge of losing their minds. Staring at the countdown timer in a daze became their entire day, until a cockroach crawled into the room. The boyfriend's face instantly lit up. He grabbed some food to try and feed it, but the system immediately issued a warning. Food provided by the organizers is strictly for contestants only. Feeding the cockroach counts as a violation. The boyfriend was speechless, but he was also worried the roach would starve to death in there. So he asked the system to open the door and let it out. The system didn't respond. He got so desperate he tried to open the door himself. His girlfriend rushed over and stopped him. "If you hit that button, it counts as quitting. We lose our $5 million. Tempted as he was to save the roach, the prize money held him back. He reluctantly put the cockroach down, but he kept snapping at his girlfriend for being heartless. The room was dead silent. In the end, it was the boyfriend who broke first. He just couldn't take the boredom anymore. He decided to trade some of the prize money for a surprise. Turns out, the challenge had an extra rule. If you are bored, you can sacrifice prize money in exchange for an item. The first time costs $100,000. The second time, a full $1 million. The girlfriend wasn't happy about it, but she couldn't stop him, so they gave up $100 grand. And all they got was a single drawing pen. But the boyfriend was absolutely thrilled. He started scribbling all over the white walls, pouring out a whole month's worth of pent-up frustration. Watching him so genuinely happy, the girlfriend finally came around. Sure, money matters, but what they have together matters more. But clearly, that wasn't the outcome the organizers were hoping for. The very next day, something terrifying happened. A handgun appeared out of nowhere in the bathroom. They were both freaked out. They had no idea where it came from, but they both knew the organizers were behind it, afraid the gun might go off by accident. The boyfriend quickly shoved it under the bed. That calmed them down a little. But the organizers weren't done. They sent each of them a separate video. The boyfriend's video showed his ex-girlfriend. In the clip, his ex was crying, saying how much she missed him. The girlfriend's face went dark. The boyfriend panicked and had no idea how to explain. Then it was the girlfriend's turn. The screen lit up, and the face staring back at her was her own father, the man who had abandoned her when she was just a little girl. Seeing his face shattered her completely. She broke down, screaming and sobbing. This so-called experiment was now surgically targeting their deepest emotional wounds. From that point on, the girlfriend went completely quiet. There were still 19 days left, and every day got harder. The boyfriend had reached his breaking point. He said he wanted to quit. The girlfriend still hadn't recovered from the emotional blow, but the thought of losing the prize money kept her going. She suggested they cash in their second surprise, even if it cost them $1 million. But this time, the surprise was an actual living, breathing woman. The boyfriend was stunned. He never imagined the organizers would send a real person in. Then the girlfriend walked out of the bathroom. The boyfriend rushed over to explain, swearing he had absolutely no idea this was coming. The girlfriend was uncomfortable, no doubt, but she understood this was all the organizers doing, so she forced a smile. The woman was a dancer. She said she'd seen a job listing and applied. All she had to do was stay for 10 days, and she'd get $5 million. Now they had a new problem. There was only one bed. How were 3 people supposed to sleep? The boyfriend offered to give the bed to the 2 women and sleep on the floor himself. The girlfriend worried he'd catch a cold. but she was even more worried about leaving him alone with the dancer. So she grudgingly agreed to all three of them sharing the bed, to make sure nothing happened between them. She deliberately slept in the middle, keeping the two of them apart. The next morning, the girlfriend woke up and noticed the dancer wasn't in bed. She thought maybe she'd left, but then she found her in the bathroom, to kill any ideas her boyfriend might be getting. The girlfriend took the initiative and buddied up with the dancer. The two of them were together constantly, leaving the boyfriend completely shut out. Being frozen out like that took a real toll on him. He even started hallucinating. He saw black liquid seeping through the bed. Then suddenly, he was sinking underwater. The harder he struggled, the deeper he sank, and standing on the shore was his little brother, who had died years ago. The boyfriend broke down crying. Thankfully, the two women managed to calm him down and brought him back to reality. He lay back on the bed and drifted off again. Night came. The boyfriend had slept the entire day and was finally coming to. After washing up and stepping out of the bathroom, he found the dancer sitting on the floor waiting for him. She waved him over to sit beside her. What she wanted to do was help him face his demons. Turns out, the dancer had been through something similar herself. As they talked, she reached out and held his hand to comfort him. And that was exactly the moment the girlfriend walked in on. They immediately pulled their hands apart. The girlfriend didn't want to hear any excuses. She went straight at the dancer with a vicious tirade, saying every cruel thing she could think of. Another day passed. When the girlfriend woke up, she realized it was just her and the boyfriend in the room. She jumped up and checked the bathroom. Empty. The dancer was gone. She let out a huge sigh of relief. At least no one had stolen her man. But just as she was feeling relieved, she noticed something on the wall. She quickly called her boyfriend over. The dancer had written a message on the wall in crayon. "No one has ever loved me the way you did." That was clearly a love note meant for her boyfriend. The girlfriend was furious, but the clueless boyfriend had no idea what had happened. He kept insisting nothing went on between them. That only made her angrier. She shoved him so hard he fell to the ground, and he landed right on the back of his head. Blood started pouring out instantly. The boyfriend looked up at this unhinged woman in front of him, and couldn't even recognize her as his girlfriend anymore. He was hurt so badly he couldn't even sit up straight. The girlfriend panicked and grabbed the bedsheet, pressing it against the back of his head to stop the bleeding. The boyfriend could feel his life slowly slipping away. He needed to get out of this hellhole and find a doctor now. But the girlfriend wouldn't let him leave. If he walked out that door, neither of them would get a single cent. The boyfriend was completely done. He was literally dying, and all she could think about was the money. So he ignored her protests, turned around, and headed straight for the door. But just as he was about to step out, the girlfriend had clearly lost her mind.
"You can't leave. I'm sorry it has come to this, but you are not being rational, Michael."
She pulled out the handgun from under the bed, loaded a round into the chamber, and threatened him. One more step, and she'd shoot him dead. But the boyfriend already knew the truth. This room was slowly eating away at their sanity. He ignored her threat and walked straight toward the door, desperate to stop him. She fired a shot into the ceiling as a warning, but he didn't even look back. He hit the red button and the door swung open, and in that final moment, she couldn't bring herself to pull the trigger. Now the boyfriend was gone. She had to endure the last 16 days completely alone. Gone was the calm, composed woman from before. She couldn't even be bothered to clean up after herself. Every day she just curled up on the floor, watching time crawl by. Somehow she dragged herself through another 14 days, just 2 days away from claiming the $1 million prize. But that day, as she leaned against the wall, she happened to notice something her boyfriend had written, and it instantly brought back all the sweet memories they'd shared. She walked straight toward the red button, slowly raised her hand, and pressed quit. But the challenge didn't end there. Soon enough, a brand new couple walked in. This time, will they survive all 50 days and claim the ultimate prize? That's where we'll leave it for today. See you next time.